Are you considering moving to James Island, South Carolina, just outside of downtown Charleston? If so, you're in the right place. I personally live on James Island, and today I'm taking you through a little tour on Google Maps of our area so you can get familiar with it and see if it's somewhere that you would like to call home. I also have a pros and cons video of James Island, so be sure to check that out after this video so that you can learn all the good and the bad about James Island. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a realtor here in Charleston, and I get calls, emails, and texts every day from people just like you who are looking for help with making their smooth move to Charleston. I would absolutely love to help you as well. My contact information is pinned below. Feel free to reach out, and if you want to be the first one to know about all things Charleston, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button. All right, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Let's go into Google Maps, and I'll see you in there. Here's James Island. It's this island right here. You can see that it's perfectly sandwiched between downtown Charleston, which is the peninsula right here, and Folly Beach. If you want to be 5 to 10 minutes from downtown and 5 to 10 minutes from Folly Beach, then James Island is perfect. Overall, James Island has this casual feel. It's a little bit smaller than some of the other suburbs, so it tends to keep a nice close-knit sense of community. Right now, we're looking at the northernmost part of James Island. There are a few ways to get over to the island. The main road that most people take is the connector right here. This is downtown, and there's a bridge that we call the connector that comes over the Intercoastal Waterway and the Ashley River here and comes over to the northern part of James Island. You can get off here at Harbor View Road, or you can go all the way down to this intersection with Folly. So that's the main bridge that people take. You can also take Route 17 here, which is the Wapapu Bridge. It's actually a drawbridge. It's a much older bridge that used to be the only way to get on and off the island, but in the early 90s, they added the James Island Connector Bridge. So you can go this way and then come down on Folly Road here. This also gets you to West Ashley. If you are already in West Ashley, then you would take Folly Road and go all the way down James Island. There's also the Stono River Bridge here that gets you over to Johns Island. So James Island is the main pass-through that you have to take to get to Johns. If you live on Johns, you're most likely going to come over here and go through this northern cut through of Riverland Terrace over the Stono River Bridge onto Johns Island. There is one other bridge for Johns Island, which I will showcase in a future video. If you're going to Kiowa or Seabrook or Wadmalaw Islands, then you would also most likely be coming through James Island over the Stono River Bridge. Now here in the most northwestern part of the island, we have Riverland Terrace. This is a super popular part of James Island. It's very walkable. There are canopies of oak trees, and it just has this great neighborhood feel to it. They are older homes, and a lot of them have been renovated. It's a popular spot of both younger people and older and families, so it's a very nice mix. The one thing people love about it is the proximity to restaurants and bars. You can see here that there are a bunch of restaurants that you would be able to walk to if you lived in this area. Now, one quick side note is that there aren't really sidewalks on these side streets, but most people are living in the neighborhood. It's not too much of a cut-through area, so people still tend to do a lot of walking. Some of the most popular spots here are the Charleston Poorhouse. This is a live music venue. They have live music most days of the week. Over here, you have the James, which is a restaurant that just recently opened. It's the same owners as Husk, which is a very popular restaurant downtown. It's more of a casual American restaurant that has really great reviews. I haven't been yet, but I can't wait to check it out. LB Sweets and Treats is a great bakery. I've gotten birthday cakes here before and pies. And then on this side of the street, you have quite a few hot destinations. Paddock and Whisky is a great bar. For some reason, Coastal Crust is not showing up. It's right here. It's a great wood fire pizza place. The Terrace Theater is a very nostalgic movie theater here that people love. I talk more about it in the pros and cons video, so be sure to check that out. You have a great florist and gift shop. And then over here, you also have Huriyali, which is a healthy restaurant with smoothies, coffees, sandwiches, a lot of vegan and gluten-free options as well. So there's just a few of the great restaurants and bars that Riverland Terrace has to offer, and you can see why it's such a hot spot. Now, right past Riverland Terrace, we have the Muni Golf Course. This is a very casual golf course. A lot of people that are beginners or just that don't play golf too often love to go here. If you are a super serious golfer, then of course you can check it out, but there are going to be other courses that are probably a little bit better suited for you, but people love to come to the Muni and just have a good time. And from there, you can see Riverland Drive right here cuts down south on James Island. There are a bunch of smaller neighborhoods and homes all throughout this area here. And the James Island County Park is right here on the western side of the island. It is 643 acres and has a campground, cabins, a dog park, kayaks, a water park in the summertime, and just tons of walking trails. This is a very popular park. They also do summer concerts in the evenings and other events throughout the year, like festivals. So if you live on James Island, you will definitely be frequenting the James Island County Park. Okay, popping back up here to the north of the island again, when you first come onto James Island, you have a couple of distinguished places. We have the Country Club of Charleston. This is a very high-end golf course and a lot of high-end homes as well. It's hard to find something under $1 million in this neighborhood. Sometimes they're $2 or even $3 million. A lot of the homes have golf course views or water views, and it's just a very established neighborhood. The Country Club of Charleston is actually the oldest in South Carolina. The golf club was established in 1786. We also have a historic site right here, Mcleod Plantation Historic Site. It is a former slave plantation and is considered an important Gullah heritage site. If you're not familiar with Gullah, it is an African American ethnic group that is predominantly in the Low Country, so South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, and Georgia. They speak a language called Geechee. It's a Creole dialect of English with many African words, and they're well known for making the sweetgrass baskets that Charleston has become so well known for. So if you are interested in the Gullah Geechee culture, definitely check out Mcleod Plantation as well as Boone Hall and Mount Pleasant. They have an entire exhibit there for the Gullah Geechee. There's also a Gullah Geechee festival in Charleston and some tours that you can take. And there are a couple restaurants that feature Gullah cuisine. So you can definitely go enjoy some of their well-known foods like red rice and okra. Now, Folly Road here is the biggest road that really goes all the way north to south on James Island. It kind of cuts the island in half. It's a lot of stop and go, a lot of traffic lights, and some parts of it have no sidewalks. So just be super careful. I personally wouldn't like to walk or bike on Folly Road. Some people do it. It is very dangerous. So please keep that in mind. And if you're driving, definitely look out for bikers and walkers. But Folly Road is going to be where most of your retail is. So we have the big stores like Lowe's Home Improvement right here. There is a Walmart down in this direction. We have Publix and Harris Teeter's and just a lot of smaller local restaurants and shops all the way up and down Folly Road. And if you go all the way down Folly, you will eventually hit Folly Beach. Folly Beach is technically its own area, even though it's sort of part of James Island, it's really its own island. So I'm not going to cover it in this video. I have another video about the 7 beaches in Charleston. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested in the beach communities here. Now, one of the other main roads when you first come over the island is right here, Harborview Road. So this cuts over and goes to the east side of the island. There's a lot of waterfront properties around this part of the island, and then eventually it intersects with Fort Johnson Road, and this takes you down to the middle part of James Island. And again, there are just a ton of neighborhoods all throughout here. Very mixed, all kinds of different neighborhoods, mostly older homes because it was one of the first areas outside of downtown to develop. So a lot of the homes are from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. A lot of them are ranch style, meaning they're one story, and we have quite a few neighborhoods that have no HOAs either. So if that's more your speed, then James Island would be a good fit for you. And it's also a nice way to save some money on HOA fees. Overall, James Island has a more organic, established feel. There are only a few pockets of newer construction on James Island. It's more infill, so there are just some certain lots that were available, or maybe small parcels of land that became small communities. So right in this part of the island, there are a lot of older, more mature neighborhoods like Stiles Point, Plantation, Lawton Bluff. And zooming in here, you'll see that there's a lot of recreational complexes here. We have the James Island Soccer Club, Bayview Soccer Complexes. So there's tons of soccer fields right here. We also have the James Island Recreation Complex right over here, as well as the James Island Charter High School right here off of Fort Johnson. Stiles Point Elementary School is right here. And right off of Harborview, right up here, we have Harborview Elementary School. This restaurant, the Edison, is incredible. It's super local. It's really delicious. You're going to get a meal that feels like you're in downtown Charleston, but the prices are a little bit cheaper. So I would definitely recommend the Edison as a great neighborhood spot. Right up here, we have the Melton Peter Demeter Park, which is a mouthful, but we call it Sunrise Park. It is one of my favorite parks in all of Charleston. It just has the most incredible views of the Ravenel Bridge and the marina across the waterway and of downtown Charleston. You can see Sullivan's Island and Fort Sumter. It's just a beautiful place that I highly recommend checking out. And then we also have the James Island Yacht Club right here. Now, this part of the island is very sought after. Homes very rarely become available here, and if they do, they don't last long. Now here we have Secessionville Road, which cuts down kind of parallel to Folly Road. You have a huge neighborhood here called Seaside Plantation. There's a few different subsections. It was mostly built in the early 2000s, with some pockets being newer. You have a lot of creek and waterfront homes back in this part of James Island. Now you can see the further south you go, the more it starts to turn into wetlands and creeks. These areas are not all developed. There are a couple of pockets here, like Little Oak Island, that do have some homes on them, and there's some condo buildings right here with amazing views of the water. But by and large, it really thins out here all the way until you get to Folly. As far as restaurants go, Bowen's Island right here, right before you cross over to Folly, has been around a long time. It is super casual with fresh seafood and the big low country boils, which are really famous in our neck of the woods, although for some reason they're a little bit hard to find. But traditionally speaking, it is corn on the cob, potatoes, shrimp, sometimes crab and sausage, and you just get this big platter of it to share. Of course, they have a lot of other seafood as well. So if you're looking for incredible views and good seafood, check out Bowen's Island. Another place that you could get great seafood and views as well on James Island is back up to the northeastern part of the island by Harborview Road. It's right here. It's called Ellis Creek Fish Camp. And right when you're on the James Island connector, you'll get off at the Harborview exit, and then it's right here on your right. If you're looking for great Mexican, I really like Jalisco Taqueria right here in the heart of the island off of Folly Road. Sam's Brewing is great for pizza, and they have a beer garden outside. Bohemian Bowl is also great for burgers and casual American food. Pet Helpers is right here off of Folly Road. It's an incredible local animal shelter. It's one of my favorites. I personally donate to them. They do a lot of rescues of cats and dogs, and a lot of medical treatments for them as well. They do fundraisers throughout the year, and you can always pop in to go visit the cats and dogs or hopefully make an adoption. So if you love the animals and you move to the area and are looking to bring one home with you, Pet Helpers would be my top choice of where to go. There's also a couple animal societies up in North Charleston. Finally, if you're looking for boat ramps, which a lot of people are, after all, James Island is an island and boating is a big part of our lifestyle here, whether it is a motorboat or a canoe or a kayak or a yacht, no matter the size or scale, boating is a very popular activity here in the area. We've got a boat ramp right here in Riverland Terrace, right here at the Wapu River, and then way down here, right before you get to Folly Beach, all the way at the end of this road called Soul Legree. So those are the few places that you can check out if you'll be launching something while you're here. That wraps up our overview of James Island, South Carolina. I also have an overview of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, so feel free to check that out next, or an overview of the entire Charleston area at large. I also have a video on the best suburbs, so if you are looking to move here, those videos would be a good bet for you to watch next. Again, all of my contact information is pinned below. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and like it and leave a comment. I look forward to meeting you, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.